bring you guys some Destiny today to give you the rundown on the what the PC Master Race should think of this game. Now, I'm playing here the single player, and I'm playing as a Warlock, and this is on Devil's Lair. I'm using a auto rifle, and I've also got a sniper kind of special. And this is the last enemy, I think. So I think this is one of those, I forget what they're called, strike missions or something, where I believe it's 3 people. You can see, I think 2 people join me while I'm playing this, and we're trying to take down this devil here. So Destiny itself, I want to address some drama that's happening over a level caps video. Now, I do like the game. I'll say that straight up. It is very much a Bungie game. It's like you know how Halo's got all the lore. It's got a great backstory. You know, it's got really interesting characters. The production quality is very, very high, as you'd expect. Really, you kind of know what you're in for there. It does kind of play a lot like Halo 2 in terms of the PvP. And but the drama over at Level Cap's video is that he basically called it out. He called it as he saw it, right? And that is that 30 FPS, which this game runs at, I believe it's native 1080p on the PS4, but 30 FPS is just not really very good, you know? When it comes to PvP shooter anyway. I mean, you can argue that the PvE sections of the game, it doesn't really matter that much, but it kind of does, you know? And the comments over at Level Cap's video saying, like, you know, why are you complaining? 30 FPS is just fine. You know, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with 30 FPS. Fine. It's like, hang on, like, it's 2014. You've just got a new console. You should be asking for better. And they're like, Gen 7 had 30 FPS. It's like, well, what's your point there, you know? Are you really telling me that I should spend $400 or your regional equivalent just to play the same specifications that my decade-old other console is on? Is that what you're saying? That's somehow an argument you feel? I don't think so. I mean, and the reason why it is 30 FPS, of course, that they came out and said is they wanted platform parity, which I don't understand. They want the same experience on PS3, 360, Xbox One, and PS4, which seems silly to me, you know? Why would you upgrade to a PS4 and Xbox One if you're just going to get the same experience? It doesn't make any sense. But apparently, if you check on Level Cap's video, you're not supposed to complain. You're supposed to say, oh, that's great. I love 30 FPS. Nothing wrong with it. It's fantastic. 2014, just make this... You might as well downgrade 240p. That's how I want the game to run. 480p at maximum. I mean, why complain, right? Why complain? Of course, this would all be addressed if we got a PC version of the game. You know, which we should have. We should have a PC version when it comes. Hopefully, I mean, there are rumours about Steam database entries and whatnot. Fingers crossed, but you never really know these console games. But yeah, it's good. You know what you're getting into. Again, 30 FPS. Really, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan. So, yeah. So the multiplayer is seamless, which is nice. You know, that people just kind of drop in. There are a few little things that bug me, right? Loading times, which I haven't really seen anyone complain about apart from me. Loading times are pretty bad in this game, right? Because you kind of spawn in your ship and then you set destination, and then like Halo, it's got like a little counter, a little time countdown time or whatever you want to call it. But the loading times can be bad. Now, not GTA Online bad, where you can kind of go on holiday, you know, when you want to join a match or a job or whatever you want to call it now. Not that bad, but still not what I would really consider ideal. It's a bit too long. I've mentioned 30 FPS, we've gone over the level cap drama, which the Peasants are just stupid about. And the other thing that I don't really like that much is they've got a few problems with the respawning right now. And I don't mean the player, I mean the enemy respawning. Because, like, obviously it's an MMO, which is even more reason why it should really be on PC. It's kind of MMO style, right, FPS. And so the areas don't clear out of enemies, they kind of make them respawn, right? Obviously, so that when the next person comes in to the same map, there are enemies there for them too. But the way it works is sometimes, even if you just glance away from an area you've just cleared and glance back, they'll all be there again. All the enemies will respawn and they'll start attacking you again. Hopefully they'll fix that in the beta. And also the other problem is not just the fact the game's at 30 FPS, but there are also some frame pacing issues that I kind of felt like I noticed, and I went on the Digital Foundry, we went on Eurogamer, and they pointed it out. So there's some inconsistencies in how the controls feel, which, you know, they can sort that out. Who knows if they will, but they can. It's a beta. I guess I can't really make that an official complaint, or whatever you want to call it, but apart from that, it's great fun. I have to say, it is fun. Don't get angry that people say they wish the game was 60 FPS, because that's just, they want the game to play better. That's all they're saying when they say that. They're not trying to put the game down. And the only way you actually get something to be better, right, is from complaining. It's from saying, I would like this changed, or I want X, Y, Z being done. If you sit there and say, oh yeah, everything's great, then nothing's going to change, right? And you're not going to buy a PS4 or an Xbox One or any of those in your consoles. So. But yeah, fingers crossed for a PC release. The game really feels like it belongs on PC. It's so community driven, open world, kind of MMO style. It feels like it belongs on PC. It's simple as that. So like I said, fingers crossed it will come. Apart from that, guys, you just let me know if you agree. What are your thoughts on the whole thing? Do you think that 30 FPS is fine for this game? A first-person shooter, do you think that's alright? Peasant. Or do you do you like this multiplayer style, the MMO style? Sometimes I wonder in the full release they're going to let us kind of just have a single-player experience. Like, it seems like now they won't. It looks like multiplayer is required because when you hover over like the mission details for these kind of strike missions or whatever they're called, it says like 3 people required, I think. But maybe they'll change that. Maybe they'll let you do it by yourself. Also, what I really like, which you don't really see that often now, is the enemies, like AI. The AI is really good in the game. Really hard in some parts. Some bits are just a bit grindy. Take forever, like this enemy here. It's not that hard. But generally speaking, the AI is great. The difficulty is great. I'd say it's nice to find some AI enemies that are really difficult to take down. I like the levels, the guns, the gunplay, the mechanics, all of that's great, apart from being 30 FPS, but all of that's really good. So, like I say, it's a Bungie game through and through. So, let me know what you think, guys, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.